Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Miss Brianne, and welcome to another meeting of Sensory Friends, the monthly club where during the school year we meet once a month and I show you how to create different and fun sensory toys that you can play with and enjoy. Now we do a lot. We do Play-Dohs, we do slimes. I'm hoping to even do a glow-in-the-dark craft one of these days. But for the month of November, we're well into the fall season. And the fall is all these beautiful colors. There's reds and oranges and golds and browns and greens. All these different gorgeous colors. And today I am going to show you how to make a fall harvest slime with beautiful colors. Isn't that great? So a little later in this video I'll go over step by step with you how to do that. But before we do that, I just want to read you a little nonfiction book about the fall season. Now I'm going to give you a minute or two to think about the fall season, and what do you think when you think of fall? So I'll give you a few minutes for that. Alright, now if you've taken a minute or two to think about what you already know about the fall season, I'm going to give you a minute or two to think about what you would like to know about the fall season. So I'll give you a minute or two starting right now. Okay, so now that you've thought about that, think about the things that you would like to know about the fall season as I introduce this book to you. It's from ScienceKids, their season series, and this is the season of fall. So here we go. Fall, and this is written by Aaron Carr. He's the author. And in case you don't know, the author is the person who wrote the words to the story. So, we ready? Oh, and as with all nonfiction books, this is a table of contents. It divides the book up into different sections that you can look at. So you don't have to read the whole book, you can just read a section if you want to know. But are we ready? Let's begin. There are 4 seasons in a year. Fall is one of the seasons. Fall is also called autumn. And as you can see, I always interchange the words autumn and fall, but they both mean the same thing. Fall comes after summer and before winter. So we got the 4 seasons. We got spring on the bottom, which leads to summer, which then goes into fall, which then goes into winter. And fall always comes after summer and comes before winter. You ready? Let me move that camera back a little bit so you can see the whole story. Or try to anyway. Move that back a little bit more. I apologize, boys and girls. Let's see how that helps. Here we go. Fall is a time of change. Days become shorter and nights become longer. So I'm just going to show the whole book. See that? See how pretty that is? And yes, it does get dark earlier now because the earth doesn't hit the sun as often or in the same way as it did in summer. In parts of Alaska, the sun sets in November. the sun does not rise again until January. As you can see, this whole picture of Alaska, look how pretty that sunset is, and look at that picture. Now, the state of Alaska is all the way on the northern part of the Earth. Now, the Earth tilts in different rotations as it goes around the sun. In the fall, the north tilts away from the sun. And since Alaska is pretty far up north, it's the furthest away from the sun, and that's why you don't see a lot of daylight in Alaska in the winter. But eventually in January, the sun will start to rise again. Alright, see. Here we go. Weather begins to change in the fall. Warm summer weather becomes cooler. There is more rain in the fall than in the summer. It may even snow in the fall. As you can see with this picture, right? Well, there's actually not a lot of snow, but looks like it's kind of misty weather, don't you think? But yes, in the fall, it does rain a little bit more, just as it rains a little bit more in the spring. But it does get colder in the fall. And this is especially true in the later parts of fall. You may even see snow. Cool, huh? Fall is when animals get ready for the winter. Some animals grow thicker fur to stay warm. See the fox? Look how thick that coat is, the coat of fur is. They need that to keep warm for the winter, especially if they're going to hibernate. A lot of animals don't come out in the winter because it's too cold for them, and sometimes it's hard to find food in the winter. So a lot of animals, in preparation, they start to try and gather as much food as they can and store it so they have enough food during the whole winter season. Some animals move to a new home in the fall. Humpback whales swim thousands of miles to find warmer waters in the fall. Many birds fly to warmer places in the fall. See that ocean of humpback whales? They're going to head a little bit further south so that they can find warmer water to hang out in the fall. And also a lot of birds fly south, usually to Florida and near the equator where it's warmer. Plants also change in the fall. Fall is when leaves change colors. Green leaves turn yellow, red, orange, or brown in the fall. As you can see, all these different color leaves. Now, in the spring and summer, when the leaves start to grow on the trees, they're always green, right? And that's because there's a lot of sunlight, and the green color comes from a chemical called chlorophyll, which helps keep the plant leaf alive. And there's so much sun in the spring, and especially in the summer, that it's able to make that chlorophyll to keep it alive. However, when the fall comes and when there's not a lot of sun, the leaves will start to lose their chlorophyll. And because of that, that's why they start changing colors. They'll start to turn yellowish, then red, then orange, and then finally they turn brown, and they can no longer stay on the tree. And that's why when the strong winds come in the fall, those brown leaves are falling off the trees. Hence the word fall. Fall is when farmers pick fruits and vegetables. This is called the harvest. Corn, apples, pumpkins, and turnips are all picked in the fall. The moon may look large and red in the fall. This is called a harvest moon. And look at all those fruits and vegetables. Certain fruits and vegetables take a long time to grow. They're usually planted in either the spring or the early summer, and it takes a long time to grow. And finally, they become nice and fully grown and ripe in the fall. And that's when all the families go apple picking and pumpkin picking and going to the farm stands. That's when the best fruits and vegetables are out. How many of you have been to a farm stand? Aren't all the fruits and veggies, don't they all look good when you go? I personally go to the farm stands for the corn. The corn is best in the summer and the fall. But that's just my opinion. Now, a fall quiz. Test what you have learned about fall. Fall is all about changes. What changes do you see in these pictures? So we got rabbits, they're hiding out for the winter. It looks a little bit rainier. The leaves change colors. The foxes or the other animals get larger coats, and all the birds fly south. And the sun sets in November in Alaska. Cool, huh? Now, as with every nonfiction book, it comes with keywords and an index and where to go to find more information. So if you ever want a nonfiction book, those are the main elements to look for. But did you boys and girls enjoy that book? I certainly hope so. But now that I've read the book to you, I want you to take a minute or two to figure out what new things you've learned about the fall season. All right, I'll give you that time starting now. Alright, so now that you had time to think about that, I certainly hope you enjoyed the book. I enjoy reading it to you. But now with this book read, and now if you learned a little bit more about the fall season, let's move on to our actual activity. So just give me a few minutes while I'm moving the camera. Just give me 2 seconds. Give me 1 minute. Alright, I hope everybody can see me. No, I just gotta move the camera a little bit more. I apologize for this. Alright, let me see how I look in that camera. Alright, a little bit more upward. I'm just going to move the camera back so you can see what I'm doing. Let me see if that helps. And also move the lens so I know that you guys, boys and girls, can see me. Alright, you just got to move the lens up a little bit more. Hold on. I apologize, boys and girls. Oops. Hold on a minute. Okay, give me 1 second. And let me see if you can actually see me. Oh, Jumped in front of the lens there. All right, now you boys and girls can see me. Now we can move on to our activity. So I am going to teach you step by step on how to make a fall harvest slime. And when you're finished, it is going to look something like this. Cool, huh? Hold on, let me bring it up to the camera a little bit more. But see that? Very stretchy and transparent, huh? Cool orange color. Do you boys and girls like that? That's what you're going to make today. All right, so let me put this back so it doesn't get messy. And you're going to need the following things to make this slime. And most of your materials should have came in the kit that you picked up prior to this program. If you weren't able to do so, or if you want to make this on your own in the future, you're going to need a paper bowl, a 1-cup measuring cup, some Elmer's clear glue. If you want, you don't have to, some glitter, either a measuring tablespoon or a teaspoon. I don't have one, so I'm going to make do with a 1/4 teaspoon. A plastic spoon. Again, I'm going to use a plastic knife to stir as I didn't have a plastic spoon on me. Some green and some red and some yellow food coloring. Baking soda. And finally, contact lens solution. When you buy contact lens solution, make sure it has both sodium borate and boric acid. So now you know what you need. Are we ready to begin? All right, here we go. So first, you're going to take your glue and measure out 1 cup. So measure out 1 cup of clear glue. And then just pour it into your paper bowl. And if you want, you can use your spoon to help you. And just be aware, make sure you keep your workstation covered. It does get a little messy. And if you're not comfortable handling the slime right away and it's very sticky stage, if you like, you can use some gloves. So I'm just going to put this in the sink so it doesn't get too messy. And we're just going to cap our glue because we don't need that anymore. But if you like, well, if you're going to add the coloring next. So I'm going to put a little bit of red. And a little bit of yellow. And then we're going to stir it together until the colors combine to an orange and it goes all the way through the glue. See how that's looking? I'm trying not to tilt it too much because I don't want it to spill out. And you're just going to mix until it's all incorporated. Just going to put a little bit more yellow in there. That orange is a little too dark for my liking. But you can make it as dark, the orange as dark or as light as you want. I just prefer a little bit of a lighter color orange. That's just me though. And you're just going to keep stirring. I'm just going to show this to you a little bit because I don't want to tilt it. But see that? Isn't that nice? All right. Now, only do this step if you like. You do not have to do this option. Only if you choose to. I'm just going to put a little bit of this dark coppery glitter in my slime. and a little bit of gold glitter. And if you have like foil leaves that are small, you can certainly put these in your slime as well. We don't have that on hand, so we're not going to add them in, but it does make a very nice addition if you have them. Or if you have any like small like colored sequins or little gem things, you can certainly add them in your slime as well. But you, like the color, you're going to mix until it's all incorporated. And I'm going to show you. But look at that. Doesn't that sparkle? Nice, huh? Alright. Now comes the final parts, the activating of the slime. The first thing you're going to do is measure out either a tablespoon or 3 teaspoonfuls of baking soda. I'm going to go grab a plate. I'll be right back. Alright, my apologies, boys and girls. Just don't want to make too much of a mess. So, I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon. 4 of these makes a teaspoon, so I'm going to do this 12 times. Well, I'm going to do this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes a teaspoon. I got to do this 2 more times. You see if I can just put all this extra in here so I'm not wasting any. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 teaspoons. And like I said, it's 1 tablespoon or 3 teaspoons because they're both the same. So I'm just going to do this 4 more times to get my 3rd teaspoon. 1, 2, 3. See? 4. So we got our 1 tablespoon or 3 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm just going to stir this in to make sure it's incorporated. Because I've learned that if you leave it all in a clump, not all the slime will form, and you'll have some leftovers that you would have to throw away, leftover glue that you have to throw away. So we just stir that in. And then, last but not least, we're going to take our contact solution and add that to our slime mixture. So let's get rid of the. So it's either either 1 tablespoon or 3 teaspoons at a time of contact lens solution. So 2. And I have to do this 4 times because I only have a 1/4 teaspoon, so I have 3. 4, that makes 1 teaspoon. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 teaspoons. 1 more teaspoon. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 3 teaspoons. So now I am going to stir my mixture and try and get it to form together. You start off with the spoon, and as the mixture comes together, you're going to start to use your hands to complete the mixing. So I'm just going to mix this for a while. And mix it for a while before you add more of your contact lens solution. If you mix it for a while and you still find it too sticky, then you can add another tablespoon or 3 teaspoons of solution. You shouldn't need more than 3 tablespoons or 12 or 9 teaspoons of contact lens solution. So it looks like my slime is starting to come together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and then start to knead it together. And if you feel more comfortable, you can use gloves, or you can cover your hands with a little bit of the contact lens solution to help with the stickiness. But you're just going to keep kneading that together until it becomes less sticky. The more you play with it, the more it's mixed in and the less sticky it becomes. But look at that. And it does take time, so please be patient. And it is messy. That's why I always say to cover your workstation. But I'm going to show this to you now. Look at how that got put together. Isn't that nice? And the reason I don't want you to add more activator unless you absolutely have to is because if you add too much, it becomes too stiff and it's not very stretchy and it's hard to play with. I made that mistake a few times when I've done slime. I've added too much activator and then it becomes too stiff and I can't stretch it very well. But this is how you make fall harvest slime. Have fun with it. And when you're done, store it in an airtight container. Usually my slimes last a while if I store them properly. They can last up to a couple weeks. But like I said, make sure you store it in an airtight container when you're done playing with it. And also, the more you play with it, the more likely it will deteriorate. So, that is how you make fall harvest slime. I hope you enjoyed this month's Sensory Friends. I hope you join us for the next month's Sensory Friends, where I'll teach you how to make gingerbread Play-Doh. Doesn't that sound like fun? So, in the meantime, please check out all of our other programs that myself and the other children's librarians have to order. And until then, take good care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next month.